chapter 7.2, triple zigzag, and I'm going to take a look at the zigzag here on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar 1 hour chart. A triple zigzag is a rare phenomenon, even for the foreign exchange markets, but it needs to be taken into consideration nevertheless. The reason is that usually the complex the correction, the more powerful the breaking into the other direction. Now, I was having some hard time trying to find a triple zigzag on all these foreign exchange pairs, all these currency pairs, and I did find one on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar 1 hour chart, and I would like to treat it with you. Now, triple zigzags are more likely to be found in second waves or fourth waves of an impulsive move, or B waves of a flat, and rarely, but not impossible, as the fourth wave types in an impulsive move. A triple zigzag is looking like this. Let me illustrate you on the left side of the screen here how a triple zigzag looks. Well, judging by the name, so a triple zigzag should have 3 zigzags connected by 2 intermediary X waves. So it should look like this to be the first zigzag. So A, B, C as the first zigzag, then an X wave, then another A and B and X, A, B, C, sorry, and then an X wave, this is being called, and then another A and B and C. So each zigzag making a new low, A, B, C, X, A, B, C, X, A, B, C, and they are being labeled W, X, Y, X, X, Z. So when compared with the double zigzag, which was only W, X, Y, now we have an XX wave that intervenes, and another Z wave that also intervenes. So that this is being called a triple zigzag. And it comes in the form of W, X, Y, X, X, and Z. Now this is how you should label, this is how a triple zigzag should be labeled, and the difference between a triple zigzag and a double zigzag is that we have yet another zigzag on top of the previous two. So this should be labeled something like this. Out of this degree, this should be A. Of this degree, this should be A, B, C, and then you had another A, B, C for the X wave here, but then it comes the next zigzag in the form of an A, B, C, and then the next zigzag in the form of an A, B, C, and the intermediary waves that are connected are X waves, and the first zigzag should be labeled W, as you can see this W of this degree, so this should be W of this degree. So I'm trying to keep the color code in order to keep the divisions and subdivisions between different waves, and this is why I'm using these different colors. So W, then an X, and an A, B, C as a Y, as this Y here, then a wave that is being considered to be XX, then another wave to the downside for the third zigzag this time, and this should be labeled Z. And if for example you have this, if you have this triple zigzag as being part of a second wave or representing a second wave, then a second wave of a higher degree should end here, so this should be labeled second of a higher degree, and normally this higher degree should look like this, and this should be labeled first. Or if you have this combination, if you have this complex correlation in the form of a fourth wave, then this should be labeled the third wave, and this should be the fourth wave, and there you have the triple zigzag. Usually a triple zigzag retraces more than 61.8 out of the previous wave due to its complexity, and it's also a tricky pattern because everybody will try to jump on the other side of the trade as the retracement into the 50 and 61.8 in the case of a second wave is being reached, because all the traders in this world are looking to be part of a potential third wave. But so the price the price action may look bullish here on the XX wave, but only to turn to make a new low for a new low for the third zigzag. Now, wave XX in a triple zigzag, meaning this one, is usually a zigzag family pattern. So usually a zigzag family pattern, and it is taken less than 70% of the time, less than 70% of wave Y by price. But again, this is not mandatory. So you should measure, what you should do, you should measure the length, sorry, you should measure the length of wave Y here, and look for 70% of that wave, and usually the XX should fall below that 70% line. But again, this is not mandatory. Wave XX will usually retrace 30% of wave Y, and most likely to retrace is 38.2. So the most likely Fibonacci relations between the XX wave and the Y wave is 38.2%. Another important characteristic for the triple zigzag is that the Z wave, this one Z wave, is usually equal in price to wave Y, and if it is not equal in price, then the next option for the end of wave Z are in this order: 61.8 out of wave Y and 161.8 out of wave Y. So first option that you have, you might look for the Z wave here to be 100% of wave Y. So you just measure the length of wave Y and you look for the Z to be 100%. And then you're looking for 61.8 as the next option, and 161.8. Now all these zigzags, so 1, 2, 3 zigzags, they should come in the normal form of a zigzag, and they should respect the rules of a zigzag. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, to go on the zigzag chapter when I treated the zigzags. And this should be a 5. This should be a third wave move correction that should not exceed the 61.8 out of the previous wave. This should be a 5 waves distance. This should be a 5 wave impulsive move or leading diagonal for wave A, 5 wave impulsive move on ending diagonal for wave C, 3 moves to the upside, zigzag family pattern for the B wave that should not retrace more than 61.8 out of wave A red. This should be a 5 wave structure. This should be again a third wave structure. So 3 different and distinct zigzags for the triple zigzag to fall. Now the X and the XX waves, the intervening X waves or the connecting X waves, they should come in the form of an ABC, and these ABCs should be 3 waves out of this degree. So this is 3 waves out of this degree and 3 waves out of this degree, and that should make a nice ABC for the XX or ABC for the X wave. Now usually an X and an XX wave, they are being part of zigzag family pattern. Zigzag family pattern meaning a double zigzag, a triple zigzag, or a double combination with zigzag, or something like that. Now on the next recording we will try to apply all these patterns to this 1 hour chart on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and see what does it mean. So stay tuned for the next recording, please.